hello. It's time for more Genshin. It's Genshin pack. I don't know why I had to be so conscientious of it. But anyway, we're continuing on from where we left off last time. Which last time, it was the inversion of Genesis. A dance of destruction. The Balladeer has caused a series of unexpected consequences within Irminsul. You're the only one aware of that. In order to ascertain the situation, you head off to Inazuma. So, we must be off to Inazuma. All the way over here. I wonder how much of the world has changed. And how much has stayed the same. I guess only going there will prove the difference. Please don't tell me we're going to see Tepe. I can't handle that. It'd be so sad if he was here. But if the Balladeer was never running things, he'd still be alive. I don't think I can handle seeing Tepe. Because then we'd have to lose him again if we bring the Balladeer back. Because we do have to reset everything, even if you don't like the Balladeer. Yeah, I'll stop talking.
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me. I'd like to ask you a question, if I may.
Of course. Go ahead.
About the riding, Gokaden.
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more.
Thank you.
The once renowned Raiden Gokaden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions.
I don't see anything wrong yet.
Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokaden 5.
Kazuha's
if my
back.
memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokaden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
Kazuha did come back and do the blade, but he's not back. What was the reason behind their decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokaden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokaden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. the smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent-up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. Looks like the balladeer did something in Irminsul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Whew. So he still exists. And he's the same Kazuha I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night. That's all. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right?
Yep.
Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Paimon, you don't actually know. You really don't actually know. Let's see. All the way over here at the Kamisato estate. I have a feeling things don't seem much different other than like a few stories because they're trying to do a whole fate will always correct itself type belief to the story. So Niwa still died at about the same time. It's just things have corrected themselves in a way.
We're here!
Is it supposed to be storming like this?
This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hello.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Where are they at?
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Can we walk in the courtyard? Take a walk in the courtyard?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
Score!
We're heading in then. Thanks!
I'm glad that we're us.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Ma'am, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you.
Cool.
What would you like to know?
How are the commissioner and Miss Kamisato these days?
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the commissioner's behalf. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
Oh?
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Ayato is still the Yashiro commissioner. Ayaka is still the lady of the house. No changes there. As far as I can see, nothing's changed in the Yashiro commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and well.
Well, got any more questions?
That's all for now. Many thanks.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that.
I am extremely busy.
Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here.
Aw, shucks.
So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered.
I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. Oh, the commissioner is so fond of home comforts.
Home is very
They get
comfortable.
to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves.
I only met
Miss
Ayato not long ago.
occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had, you always get a mention.
Holy crap, get to the point. She's talking so much.
It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you very much. I'll visit again.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great.
Oh my gosh.
Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
The Tarasuna.
right then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep.
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Bye. Xavier is busy. No! And holy crap, that took forever. And with how long it took, it was really disappointing that I never got struck by lightning. Do we really need Xavier? Yeah, I guess we need him to go to Taratsuna. So yeah. Tatarasuna, this is it. This is not it. Alright, I guess we gotta go get Xavier. And I just did the whole talk to Xavier thing. Already cut it, and I'm putting it as episode 20.5. So if you want to see what I had to clear there in order to see what's happening going forward, just watch the next half episode that's coming out after this one. So let's continue on with the main story that we were doing. So we gotta go to the Tarasuna to look for clues if anything has changed from the Balladeer, apparently erasing himself out of existence.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Xavier, to be exact.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler in Paimon?
It is us!
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Please don't say it's
I
been
was
too
in
long.
the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about Tartasuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Go on. I'm listening.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago.
Sounds like
I'm
you're
told
dodging.
that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
Yes, please be specific.
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too.
No, you are the first one.
They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
It's not true at all. Mechanic, huh? Looks like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I am.
Oh, I didn't
How'd you say his
realize you
name?
two were here for a history lesson.
A bit of one.
Neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
You can look at it like that.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. Can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of the Kabuki Mono connected to Tatarasuna?
A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have.
Oh.
I do know the word, Inazuman, for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
So there's no more Kabuki Mono. Did the Balladeer really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he He must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. And so far, looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Thank you, Javier.
Of course. Don't
I
mention
think
it.
that's how they said it. Or Paimon said it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy
Isn't
to
that
help.
Xavier?
Farewell.
I've been thinking it was pronounced differently, but that's so much differently than I would have ever
Looks like you
expected.
got all the information you're looking for.
Now I need to go back to see Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you.
A bit.
Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile.
What?
No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Thank you, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Okay, let's go meet her. Echoes of History. Wait, what's the name of the mission? A new quest. Yeah, but we're not gonna do that. What did it just say? The Kabukimono's finale. Information you gathered left you with a heavy heart. You decided to return to the sanctuary of Sarasana to tell Nahida about everything you learned. Nahida's gonna remember, right? Right? I hope so. I feel like there's a chance that she won't. Why do I also feel like maybe he didn't erase himself from history, but just removed himself from that part of history? Like he's still here, but he just removed himself from being the doctor's puppet. That's the only choice of words I could think of. That's why I paused when saying it. All right. Up, up, up. To the sanctuary of Sarasana. Wait, we got stopped?
Hey, it's them.
Yes, hi, it's us. Are they going to tell us something different?
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
I hope that we don't have to do a lot of reading again. Are you still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
Oh gosh. As long as I don't have to read
We have
again.
time. What do you want to talk to us
Please
about?
don't let me read. I don't want to read.
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Yes. Perfect. These two have reached Tatarasana's past. Let's hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
The article that you let me read last time was great. Can I read it again?
Huh? Oh, of course.
Frickin' Aether, why? Details. Wait, a brief analysis of the possible events of the historical importance of the Tatarasuna area. Details. The text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Vahumana's Veil Cutter project. It has yet to be numbered. Author Akuba. Abstract. The Tatarasuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithy industry. Two incidents have occurred there, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, there might be a hidden history behind the events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary: Tatarasuna area. Raiden Gakoden. Mikoshi Nagamasa. Why do I always struggle with Mikoshi? Introduction. This paper continues to expand on the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, and his report on the happily hidden tales of Tatarasuna, and is intended to further the advance of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Raiden Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatarasuna's smelting center, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. There, the Makoshi and the Niwa clans, along with an eccentric mechanic from abroad, serve as the three windows of insight that needs to investigate the truth behind what happened. This was not mentioned last time. The eccentric mechanic from abroad, he was not mentioned. Body. Strange notes from the Tatarasuna area. Their contents are as follows. 1. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better as he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain of the name Makoshi must eat at him. That's the same. The inspector brought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice armory officer. We last made a single nagamaki. We call it the Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits. He and the vice armory officer, Nozumu Mew, was so taken by the beauty of the sword that he drew a picture of it. I don't remember that part. That could have been previously, but I don't remember that part. I don't really want to pull up the video from last time either, just to compare. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own nagamaki into the furnace flames. Nozomu could not abide by that order and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. I don't think it was completely melted last time. I think it was mostly melted, but not completely. Nozomu died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed malfeasance, it was out of the goodness of his heart. That's worded differently. It was out of the goodness of his heart was not what it said last time. Kinjiro hid the nagamaki and Nozomu's drawing in the arsenal. That's new. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. But even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and some households of Tatarasuna have not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother, Chiyo, and we trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating the sword with him. That's the same. Both those two parts. The first part about hiding the drawing, I don't think is, because I don't think the drawing was mentioned last time. 7. Hold on. Sorry, I got a notification about a job, but the notification doesn't cover everything. Don't worry about it. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, 1 for the inspector, 1 for the armory officer, and 1 to be left in Tatarasuna itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within the treasure chest of Tatarasuna. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tatarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old. While the last one looks more recent, I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to one another, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Rumi once mentioned... Wait. Is this yellow because it's different? Okay, I'm skipping everything else. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk history. A very small portion, however, mentioned the word outsider. It should be known that the appearance of such a character, who is suspected to be based on a real person, is a very curious case. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A foreign mechanic once visited Tatarasuna. Reportedly, the reason for his immigration was to exchange knowledge and forge ties with the locals. However, the mechanic seemed to behave suspiciously, often wandering around essential or restricted areas. And if someone tried to turn him away, they would only earn incomprehensible mumble from his lips. The mechanic often stared into the furnace, seemingly to check on its condition. Unsettlingly, he also spent a substantial amount of time watching the local residents. Yeah, they didn't mention the doctor at all last time. Judging from the era, it was not uncommon to see cross-culture exchanges of technical knowledge in places such as Tatarasuna. After traveling across the tides, foreign experts being welcome in the region was likely not unreasonable either. Yet calamity came not long after this exchange of knowledge, which hints at high potential for causation between these events. However, some current residents believe that these assumptions were merely the result of their forebears' overactive imaginations attempting to theorize how things actually unfolded. So, yeah, that's all new. And skimming through all this, there doesn't seem to be anything said about a puppet or the kabuki mono. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. Katsuragi, the mechanic. The mechanic has completely replaced the kabuki mono. The mechanic. Long have I delved through many texts and documents, but I was ultimately unable to decipher even a specter of a clue as to his background. Still, mentions of the mechanic grew scarcer in the aftermath of the Tatarasuna incident. I speculate that instead of the mechanic possibly being a figure woven from overripe imaginations, he actually did exist. Perhaps even had a hand in the events that took place in Tatarasuna. So yeah, everything about the balladeer is gone. But the mechanic, which was not talked about at all previously, is now here.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
All right, now we know that we could just skip through. Let's see, a young man dressed in linen shirt with a headscarf. That's not it. There was something around here about the kabuki mono dropping off food. I'm not seeing it. Syria is a keens your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes are as unlearned men are nothing before you. Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. But just as words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps steady and confident. The head that appeared by the door was that of someone from abroad. The newcomer placed some lunchboxes to one side, nodded, and made to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "Sir, what about your meal? Are you not hungry?" The man smiled upon hearing Katsuragi's words. "I already ate. I hope that you, my lords, may find some time to sate your hunger soon. You are our guest, sir. To see you help in these trifling matters fills me with embarrassment," Niwa said with scarcity. The man smiled as if it was no matter. Then with a nod, he departed. So yeah, now the mechanic, or the man from abroad, has now delivered the food. Wait, this seems different. A stranger, a forensic mechanic, stood next to the coast. Sunset fell on the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight show between themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roll. No, maybe this isn't talking about him. But this is definitely a different part. Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its bereavness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the mechanic laughed, slowly approaching the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one that had cried out for help, and with a plop, it landed at the mechanic's feet, who crouched down to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked up the remnants of the ship clean. Yeah, this part looks like it literally just takes away kabuki mono, or puppet, or however it was said, and just replaces it with mechanic. All right, the next part. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth. Each who left to seek salvation did so under foul skies and bleak fortunes. Reason dictated that they should not have risked anyone else, but the situation to Tatarasuna was severe. They needed to gain aid from Inazuma, even should it cost them more lives. Wait, that part was different? It didn't really say anything about either. Trying to see if it says anything through here about the mechanic. The presence did not go unnoticed. He drew his blade. Who are you? Only to rematerialize beyond reach. So that hasn't changed. The content has changed. Another effect of tampering with the information in Irminsul. The Balladeer said he'd erased two of his names. If he still succeeded, it might have taken all his might. But still.
Well, what do you think?
A
Hey,
masterpiece.
Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
You tell the two writers what you learned about the Raidagokuden
Wow.
and Tetsara
So
Suna's
many
history.
new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
We've got some things to take care of. Bye for now.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Will do.
Hey, I said that. All right. So, now we can go talk to Nahida. I do kind of feel like he didn't actually erase himself from history. Well, he erased himself from history, but he didn't erase himself. He's still in existence. But he's just not known to have done all the things that he's done. Although I'm not seeing him here.
Nahida, we're here! Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Confused.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer.
The Balladeer? This sounds like some kind of code name.
So she doesn't even remember. Oh no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even Nahida doesn't remember. Just like last time, any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers things that were erased. Once again, I am the record keeper.
Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. With a heavy heart, you piece back together the story that was broken and scattered across time. There once was one named the Balladeer, created by the Electro Archon. He was a puppet who lived among men. After a series of events in Tatarasuna, the Balladeer, thinking he had been thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans and only loathing for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with a gnosis and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth behind his betrayal. Knowing now that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story.
It's not just a story, it's what happened.
So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
Yep.
But how was he even able to do that? As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality. So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because... well, because he literally changed the world? Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The traveler comes from a world beyond Tevat. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it? I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm really not sure. We were enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything? Or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically. My hesitation gave him his answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Rukkhadevata erase her own existence. But I can't tell Nagita that. To put it another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work. But I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
He chose such a radical option, and yet...
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yes.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again.
But friends that are gone.
He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense. Every part of it.
To Nagita.
The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left. Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Yeah, he changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life? Or did he wish he'd never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something.
Go for it. She checking Irminsul?
Found it. This should be the one.
Is it a deleted file?
It
Just sitting in the trash can?
I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
It's all just sitting in the trash can, not erased, not emptied.
What is it? A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner.
Is it a little dusty?
Take a look.
Surprisingly, the information is presented to you in a way that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
But it's something that Irminsul couldn't affect.
You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer? When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else. Hold on. So this record survived from the past? Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul. That's incredible! What a great idea! And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us, the now erased life of the balladeer.
So does that mean his change is still going to be intact?
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes.
But we're going to bring him back?
Joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him,
The monster is the doctor.
The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin.
And the kitten is the balladeer.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after.
We don't know this part.
After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world.
Moon being the
And
Archon.
no one can know that they were
Archons.
different. We solved it!
But how do we bring him back with this information?
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered. It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke. The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
And I've never had this feeling before. Feels like life is as insignificant as a feather.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better. This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot.
Poor
Never
Balladeer.
forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along. Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Of course, Paimon just wants to eat.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head? You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Nahita, you're gonna reverse it, aren't you?
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
Can we teleport from here? Trying to think, what's the best place to teleport? This might be it. Because the Grand Bazaar is the place inside the tree, right? I think it is. So yeah,
It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Thanks, Paimon. But yeah, I guess he was still existed at some point, but then he kind of got erased from the fact that he was never in any of the parts that he was originally in, but erased. There's got to be a loophole in it where he's referred to like something different other than like Balladeer and Kabukimono.
We're here! What should we eat first?
I have a nagging feeling like there's something I'm missing. Something important that I'm forgetting. Everybody's having that right now.
Are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, it's just... Give me a minute. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, Brain. Let's dig this out. It's got to be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, forbidden knowledge, Mahita.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that's it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. She said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But this is a crucial, important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
There he is. In his new threads.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, the guy
Not
running
you.
off.
That kid! Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that
Does
guy?
he remember?
You know him or something?
That guy is the Balladeer.
He's who?
The Balladeer.
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No,
Understandable.
please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want
Yes.
money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
He's the Wanderer.
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Where did he go? Looks like I'm on the right track, seeing that the numbers are going down. And I took a wrong turn, but that's okay. Just keep going this way, and... Is he gonna notice us?
Yeah, this'll do.
Will it?
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsettias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Shh.
Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
You didn't have to go very far to get them. If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right. We were following you.
Have we met before?
In an erased past.
We haven't met. But you know me?
Yes.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yep.
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right! The look on his face!
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people.
That's it? That's all the information that you need?
Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Okay.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
How long is that while?
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
All right.
Then let's return to the city.
Did we agree on a meeting place? Return to the grocery stall. Why do I feel like he's gonna book it? I'm just not sure he's actually gonna be there. Like, I feel like he's actually suspicious of us. Which would make sense. Someone just comes up to you and is like, I know you. Here is one of your deepest, darkest secrets. That he can remember. Because I'd say he has darker secrets, but still. Look, I don't see him.
Here you go, boss.
No,
I'll leave them
there
right
he
here.
is.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Friends.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
Are you still paying him?
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day.
Accurate.
Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining.
I feel like his hat would probably help him
Imagine
a
you
lot
and
with
me
that.
for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry?
Because he has no clue why he's here.
But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't...
Don't what?
No.
Don't remember?
Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Sadly, I've run into quite a lot too. And they're not the
Thank
type
you.
of characters you want to run into. Customer service sucks.
All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Cool. We're going to be teleporting. So back to the sanctuary of Sarasana. Teleport. And up we go. Up we go. Up we go. Up we go. In we go. I keep pressing the wrong button. Wanted to go forward, but I was pressing E. But I was underground, so it wasn't going to do the elemental attack of E.
What's wrong?
Found him!
Huh? Are you?
He is.
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
Do you really know?
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You tell Lesser Lord Kusanali what happened in the Grand Bazaar.
You say that you were trekking across Tevat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called previous incarnation. Oh, like a past life or something? Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
We're just trying to think where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Yida tells the Wanderer about his past.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
Oh, far from it. Far from likable.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
We were each other's enemies.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch situation?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish. Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Would we give him a shoulder to lean on?
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Okay.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Okay.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Let's enter the reminiscent drift. Oh! Honestly, I wasn't expecting this. Mahita, you're coming with us.
Time to broaden our horizons again.
Yes, we are. I came up with a name for the Wanderer when we have to name him, because I know we have to name him.
This looks like Inazuma.
I'll explain it when we get to it.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful. Sounds like an immersive experience. It's
like
a good
VR?
thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
So don't worry about it.
Never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
And now we're just finishing the job.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here. Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace? You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
Okay.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I
Katsuragi.
can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Huh. Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna. And the rest is history. Well, it used to be. In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
How would that put an end to it, though?
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
On the floor. Wait, there's no chest around here, is there? That's not a switch to open that door. I feel like we'll make our way back around here. Ooh, chest. Just what I was looking for. Thank you.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Wait. Does the ladder just drop down? Or... No, I jumped down from here. Wait. Those are boxes that we could bust open. How did I not realize that sooner? Is there anything in here? Oh, what do you know? A memory Sunsetia. I'll take it. Wait, how come we don't get to play as the Wanderer? Door of Resurrection activated. Ow! Why? That wasn't cool. Especially since it lured me there with the chest. Whoa! What's with the traps?
Huh? What are we doing back here?
Story branches out in a different way. I hear voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
Is this the bird?
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
I think this kid's a little bird.
I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick.
So did you.
He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
This kid's a little bird.
We're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever. This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him.
What about his mother?
After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together. What happened to the child then? He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
His mind was not right to think that a child dying was him being
The
betrayed.
voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Alright. I gotta heal up Aether. Oh, the damage you took because of the electric floor. What's up with all the frickin' traps? There's no chest in here? I guess this brings us to the next memory.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drill aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Come at me.
No excuse for slacking!
Everyone hold hands.
You can't run. Well,
Go on!
Isn't this guy supposed to always be wet? I feel like that's bad phrasing.
be a killjoy. We've only just begun. I miscalculated.
Yeah, you did. Oh, I want that crystal marrow. Why can't I get it from the box? I could use it on Aloy. This looks dangerous.
This place
Yeah, familiar.
is dark.
This is where we met for the first time.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
This is where we first met each
In the
other.
original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
Mm-hmm.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
I remember this. It was an unsettling place.
Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the Doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
Be defeated
I'm
by
sure
me.
you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I highly doubt you
I
would
just
be.
can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Did you ever make it to the victory feast?
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is?
Fire and ice.
Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
Is that when we run into him? I think it is.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you
You're the only one in here?
think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right? Witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Ha, he's the duties.
I will have order.
Over here.
I completely missed some of that.
The merrier. Orders given. Orders received.
Gotta take down one of them first, at least. I feel like I want it to be her. Because when she does this, it becomes a little bit more difficult to deal with her. But we dealt with her. Head towards the next memory. Let's go. What's the next memory?
Looks like we have arrived in Sumeru.
Yep.
Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently.
You deserve to be locked up.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the Abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person
He's an uncomfortable person to
gives off
listen
a
to.
very sinister energy.
He's the doctor. He's behind all of this.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Every last bejeeber.
Let's move on.
Alright, back to fighting. More exploring than fighting?
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Are you saying...
Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
Does it reset history?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
Is this the true meaning of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's words? A person can't erase themselves. And even though the original balladeer has gone, this person will live on in his place. Are a person's sins an inescapable part of their destiny too?
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Who grabbed him though?
This is trying my patience. Squall and Fury. Perish! Quit following. At my command, you shall fall. Behold. That's far enough.
Will I be able to beat him without losing all my health?
You dare to gaze upon me? Begin!
Too slow. Quit following me. The wind rises. Nothing like measuring.
This is why I want the Balladeer, the Wanderer.
Feeble human!
And defeated. We don't have to do the second stage, do we?
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
disappeared. Did we win?
Is history back to the way that it was?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
Yeah, you got down to the red. Of course it wasn't me controlling you.
Voice again. You're definitely back to your old self.
Paimon remembers.
Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry.
Got a point.
I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
Now that you've recovered your memories, the past will catch up with you.
You sound like you're concerned about me.
I am. Is that a problem?
But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Yes. Let's. Me, myself, but not I. Where do we leave the memory? Ah, there. Is there not going to be like a chest or something around here?
Okay, faster.
Really? No chest? Okay, fine. This is the worst domain I've ever been in.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
Thank you, Nahida.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey.
This did take a while.
Paimon's exhausted.
What's up?
You don't like being addressed by that name?
Why would he?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by the Balladeer anymore?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish.
No, they are not.
What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very true.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Nahida doesn't see you in that way.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
Nah, you've been duped.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered.
Gotcha.
Including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers.
I will try.
Traveler,
Yes?
after I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what you changed.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how?
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
I didn't do all this for a reward. Please don't make it sound like I'm extorting you.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
This isn't how you
That's not
thought
true.
before.
A relationship
You got your
between
memories
two
back.
people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero.
Very true, Nahida.
I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
I hope you can give Nahida a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
Yay!
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate? Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
I'm on.
Why?
She does that for a lot of people.
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
That's how Paimon is.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Huh? You want us to decide?
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything?
I do. All right. Name change rule. You can obtain the item and the abilitative stroke from the Archon Quest interlude inversion of Genesis, which will allow you to change Eon's Drift Wanderer Animo's name. Please take note that some names cannot be utilized in this change. Once you have renamed this character, some interfaces in the game going forward will display the name that you have chosen. There is a limit on the number of times you can rename this character, so do it with care. Travelers, please ensure the following terms, services. Yes, nothing discriminatory against race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, government, or religion. Government, or region. Government, though. Government? Why? The bullying or insulting of any travelers or groups of travelers, any other content or behavior that violates terms and services. All right, so for the Wanderer's name, we are going to... Here's how it's going to go. So, he was called the Kabuki Mono, which Kabuki Mono is originally referred to people that were bizarrely dressed. It is often translated in English as strange things or the crazy ones. and was referred to the style worn by gangs of samurai back in, I guess you could say, the 1600s, maybe even earlier. But essentially, there is this word that's the first part of that, which is kabuki, to which a kabuki is a classical form of Japanese theater, to which it looks like in the first 26 years of it, there were women that were part of these acting tropes or troops. But after that, no more women. If you wanted to have a woman in the story, to which you would have women in stories because it only makes sense. Women are people too, and they're going to be in a story. You'd have to get somebody that could play being a woman in it. Typically, you would have young boys whose voices hadn't dropped. Kind of creepy, I know, but that's kind of the way it goes. However, when I read about this, it reminded me, I remember reading a manga about this. And it's called Kunasaki Izumo no Jijo. So which is just Izumi Kunasaki's circumstances is what it translates to. To which he was just a very pretty looking boy that could pass off as a girl. And he came from a kabuki acting family. And he eventually got freaked out about being personified as a girl so much that his father loved putting him in like basically the dresses of the time periods that they would be acting in. So he distanced himself from it, but then ended up coming back and was kind of forced to take part in it. And yeah. So I think I'm going to name him after him. But the funny thing is he's actually named after the person that created Kabuki, Izumo. So Izumo is going to be his name going forward.
Are you sure?
Yes, I think this will do.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
He accepts it?
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me.
Paimon, is that one ready?
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
What do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
Understandable.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
How about the Fatui
Now that
too?
your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly.
Yay!
But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
Yes, compose yourself, young sir.
One more thing.
Hmm?
There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you. Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. What's that look for? Don't make that face.
He really does seem
I know
remorseful
what
for
I'm
everything.
doing. That day will come. All right. We're done here. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
Yes.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down. Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
There were some bumps along the way, but it's all over now.
So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
I want to go to bed. I still have to make my bed.
Thank you both.
My comforter's in the
I
dryer.
hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
I'm sure Paimon still has some things to say. We're not completely done here. Why do we have to have a loading screen?
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You
Which
mean
are-
because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue.
Okay. Go on.
The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
You had to finish it up with a rhyme. Return to the resting place. I wonder if I had done this before the Academia Extravaganza, would he not have been called Hakai, but instead would have been called Izumo? I feel like he would have. But now we have the novelty of him just being Hakai for that period of time. I kind of like it. I don't think we're really missing out on anything here. I thought we were going to go get something to eat. Why are we going to the resting place? Are we going to eat at the resting place? I can't just pass up Sparkle Sparkles. This wasn't good Sparkle Sparkles. Here we go. This is where we're staying, right? Wait, here. Here we go.
It's about time we had a break.
Yeah, we've been going all day.
As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
Rest up, Paimon. I'll buy you delicious treats as a reward.
Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase.
What about it?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
That night we stayed here, Paimon bumped into the table after being startled by something to do with the balladeer and broke the vase. That's why she doesn't remember having broken it? But the balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world. So why is the vase still broken?
You sound lost and confused.
Who's that?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
There is.
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say?
Yes,
When a
who can?
small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
It is.
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
That could be compared to how
History does
things happened
not change
changed.
easily, but
what
human
happened
hearts
didn't
can.
change.
Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
Actually, nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Assassin's Creed.
The voice has disappeared.
Who would that do?
And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming
I wouldn't say it's scary. Read my eyes. Does that mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up?
We can't do it ourselves?
Just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
I feel like we're about to experience another conversation or something. Wonder what else awaits me in the future. Version of Genesis completed. That took a while. Quite the while. And you know what? We got all these Primogems from doing all of this that we can get an intertwined fate. Purchase. And with that, we could do a roll. We have 1 day, 14 hours to do it. But I saw what's coming up. And it's Yai Miko and Yoimiya. And I would rather have either of them than anything that we could get now. So, I'm going to leave it here. Next episode that we come back, I will do a roll. But that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, which next time will be the half episode where I put in the whole Tatarasuna thing.
Somewhere
that
cooler.
Kind of interrupted this whole storyline. Doses.
So I wrote it in the rhyme. The Reverend Doctor got an 8K, wet working. The roaches get the rays sprayed. My weak rhyme, my body, your best verses on game day. I touch the crowns of self-entitled kings. You leave the heat like LeBron when I melt your idols' vital things. This is Malcolm and Martin, Million Man March in Sparta, mixed with a legion of angels surrounding sons and daughters. Simon Peter with a desert eagle, waving it at Caesar. So if I was you, I probably wouldn't mention me either.